Okay, we're in volume 7 of the Bible story by Arthur S Maxwell. This is the front of my book, which are my set of 10 books that are blue. This one has Mary and a toddler Jesus on the front, and then on the back it has Joseph in his carpenter outfit working. He's got shavings on the ground, and he's got his hammer in his hand and his plane in his other hand as he's working on a piece of wood, a project. Okay. Part 1, Story 10, Narrow Escape. King Herod waited and waited for the wise men to return, but they never came. They had planned to go home through Jerusalem, for they thought the king already wanted to find. They had planned to go home through Jerusalem, for they thought the king really wanted to find the child and worship him, as he said. But that very night, after they had visited Joseph and Mary, God warned them in a dream not to return to Herod. So they departed on their into their own country another way. For a while, Herod was not worried. He had not believed their story, but seeing a strange star in the sky, he chuckled as he recalled sending them to Jerusalem to find the baby who was to be king of the Jews. Such a wild goose chase, he had thought, and there couldn't be any such child. But several days had passed and no word had reached him from the strangers. He decided to find out what they were doing. So he sent messengers to Bethlehem to check on them. Then he learned that they had secretly left the city long since long hold on. Yeah. Then he learned that they had secretly left the city long since and gone home without saying a word to anybody. Now he was angry. How dare they go off like this? Why hadn't they told him the result of their search, as they had promised? He began to be suspicious. Perhaps they had found the child they were looking for and wanted to keep the secret to themselves. Yes, that is it. They must be parties to the plot to set up a new king of Israel, because Herod thought he was king. All right, the cruel king said to himself, I'll fix that. No new king will come out of Bethlehem if I have anything to do with it. In his rage, he ordered a company of soldiers to go to Bethlehem and kill every child of 2 years old and younger. They were to do a thorough job. Not a single baby was to be spared. Uh, yeah, boy child, mainly. It was a terrible, wicked thing to do, and even the hardened soldier would have hated doing this. Yet, what could they do but obey? Sick at heart, but with swords sharpened, they set out for the doomed city, which is only 6 miles away, so they could get there really quickly. But even as they clattered out of the gate of Jerusalem, all heaven moved into action to save baby Jesus. Herod had reckoned without God's secret service, had reckon without, yeah. Scarcely had his orders been heard from the watching angels than one was sent post haste to the house where Joseph and Mary were staying. It was night, and they were both asleep. Get up, the angel said to Joseph. Quickly, take the young child and flee to Egypt. Stay there till I tell you. Herod is planning to destroy the child. Joseph woke up, sensing danger near. Mary, he cried, wake up. Mary stirred in her sleep. What's the matter? She said. We must leave at once. Why? Herod wants to kill the baby, and an angel just told me. But why? I don't know. Mary rose to her feet, anxiously showing anxiety showing on her face. But where can we go? To Egypt, he said. We would be safe there. Quickly they dressed and packed up their things, carefully hiding the treasures the wise men had given them. Yeah, because if anybody's seen it, the treasures, they probably would have stolen it. Okay, and then has the soldiers down here at the bottom, and they look like they're in a semi-Roman dress, and which makes it true. And then the angel up here at the top, telling Joseph to get up. And it looks like Joseph was, got tired because when you're a carpenter, you'd be on your project. There's soldiers, and there's the angel telling Joseph to get up. Okay, see what the next page has. Okay, soon, uh, soon their donkey, it does say donkey, was loaded, and they were on their way. It was a narrow escape. They had not gone far when Herod's soldiers arrived and began breaking into people's homes. Heartlessly, they tore the children from their mothers' arms and killed them. It was then it was that Jeremiah's prophecy came come true. In Ramah, where there is a voice heard, lamentations and weeping, and a great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because are not. What a dreadful night that was! So many children murdered, so many homes left desolate. Perhaps upon the ears, perhaps on the ears of the baby Jesus, now well on his way to safety, fell the cries of the mothers and babes of Bethlehem. He could not help them now, but some day he would be the comforter of Israel and deliver them all who should trust him. And then it has them writing, and of course it's a Herbert Roden writing out of Bethlehem. And of course they had to do it secretly, or they had to blend in. Okay, that was the end of part 1, story 10, and the end of part 1. So, we're going to, like always, take a break before I start on the next one. Um, and we'll see you in a bit.